Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show. 9+ years we've been doing it, almost 700 shows saved on YouTube. Just type in Pittsburgh Sportsline, you'll see some of them, and you can check the veracity of all of Smokin' Jim's predictions and bets. That's a shout out to Smokin' Jim. Do not gamble, and if you do gamble, do the opposite. But I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Chip Painter here, and of course, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Connor's on the camera. Hold it, who's this beside me? Nick. Nick is back.
Nepotism is alive and well at BPTV.
Big arms.
Thank you very much for that, for my unrelated nepotism co-host. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine, so we'll continue and carry on here. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, all points in between, even Monroeville. They have it out there. Smokin' Jim doesn't have it anymore, but he watches on YouTube. So, and Skip Atkins, one of our favorite sharers, he doesn't have Verizon now, but he still shares them sometimes when he watches it on Facebook. So we got that covered. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook. Facebook cleans up when people die or get off of Facebook. So we dropped down to 6,898
It's a conspiracy.
Facebook likes.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, and Smokin' Jim, for some reason, he tells me how many people he has as friends. All I asked him for all these years is have some of your sweeties, like some of the 897 of them, and your 300 godchildren, please like Pittsburgh Sportsline. Guess how many have liked Pittsburgh Sportsline because he recommended it? 0. 0 here if you need it closer. That's 0. So whatever he says is falling on deaf ears. I hate to bust his something or others there, but you know, he likes to get started. I'm turning over a new leaf. I hit him first before he gets it going. But we always end each show with, oh no, let's go to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. What am I doing here? This strip is in the wrong place. I got to move it. We're trying to do social distancing. Here we go. The tape. Anthony, sorry, I got to move it because it's more comfortable. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Look at that.
All right.
Connor's on fire. And Smokin' Jimmy's not wearing designer shorts. He's got a Nike theme tonight, so leave the kid alone. And please do not ask him to go to Gateway, because that's like swearing at this young kid who's only 15 years old.
What? He wants to be a winner?
Well, my problem is you're swearing at the poor young man, loves his community. You know how you love Monroeville because it's God's country? That's how he thinks of
He
Baldwin.
don't have to move. All he got to do is kick on Friday night. We need a field goal kicker. He's going to be homeschooled. Why you may move? I got an address for him.
Oh,
Well, I'll just explain to all of you that trust Smokin' Jim. The WPIAL has rules, and that's not in the rules. It's illegal. So if you want to do something wrong, see Smokin' Jim. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. Great Italian food. When's Smokin' Jim going to pick us up a pizza when he comes in 5 minutes before the show? That's what I'm waiting for. We need him to go there. They got great Italian food. They're there. They got takeout. Just stop in, tell them
does
Uncle Al.
Frank still own it?
I don't know. I got to find out. I haven't been able to stop by, but he may have sold it, so we'll have to see.
And you know what else you need to do? Swing by a Sazu, huh?
Why? Not ready. Not ready.
You're looking a little Einstein-esque.
My son just told me yesterday, he goes, Dad, you got the mad scientist look.
That's what I was saying. A little Einstein working for you there over
You
time.
Well-
always look good to me, brother.
Thank you. We're just continuing our sports theme
You
and
should
other
wear a
stuff.
shirt next week that just says E = MC squared.
Yes, thank you.
Whatever that means.
Explain that to Smoking Jim. Wow. Well, look in the morning. Sometimes I put quotes up by great people. Okay? So you might see it there one day. You'll see an Einstein quote, just so you understand. All right. We honor Joey Favis. He died at 9 years old 7 years ago of a dreaded brain cancer, DIPG. There's a photo of him before and after. It's a death sentence anytime you're diagnosed with it. His family started the Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. You can donate as little as $1, your time, go to different events and donate money and different things to help them out. They've raised over $100,000 to give to other people with kids suffering and dying of this and the doctors to find a cure. So Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation, check it out. Next up, another 501c3. We'll see what Connor does. Bang. He's like Emerald. Bam. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. You know, I keep saying that red trolley there, you can't miss it. It's not a T, it's a trolley. It's been there for years. Stop on in. Reginald's Coffee, I get my loose leaf green tea. I got to stop in. Maybe they'll be open. They have takeout service. You can even sit in the yard since it's getting warmer, except for the next couple days. There were flurries on the way in, by the way. But back to the schoolhouse, built in 1905, all new windows, new roof, a cupola with the old bell that's back there. And they do all kind of different events throughout the year. So check it out, the Bethel Park Historical Society. Next up, I'm on a roll, 501c3. Bethel Park Community Foundation, been around for 25 years. They have money for you. Grant requests from $100 to $5,000 for your organization. There's only one person banned. It's Smoking Jim. He's banned from it because he wanted to know if he could get some money. And I'm on one of the trustees, so I told him, can we really give a grant to a guy that spends $250 at the casino on betting on losers? And they asked one question: does he ever win? But they have money for you. Go to bpcf.org, get an application. Every couple months we have a meeting. When I'm there, we'll try to get a vote for you and get your money. So take it easy. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have some fun at my expense. Look at that. There's my face there, right on Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al, the talking machine, wants you for BPTV so you can be like Connor on camera. Nick is a co-host. Anthony doing whatever he does in there, keeping his hair perfect. Not a hair out of place, according to Smoking Jim's great eyes after his cataract surgery. So we have that as a little subset. Call 412-831-3304. Dave Cable, you can tell him Al Levine, the talking machine, said you'll hire me to do on-location shows, studio shows, or whenever you need me. If you're in high school or you want to come in here and you live in Bethel Park, come be a volunteer here. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun like we do on our Pittsburgh Sportsline because we try to get you good information, and I stress the good part. I won't mention who doesn't, but we do it. Next up, here's the test for Connor every week. You see how I'm holding it, folks. Watch what he does. 6103. Whoa, I better hold it with the other hand. 6103. Library Road, Red, White, and Blue Station. You give a call, 724-348-4715. Skeets Lewandowski at Skeets Service Station works on anything and everything that runs on gas. And they do a great job. You name it. Like Chip always says, have some gas in that vehicle and they'll check it out. Lawnmowers, boats, tractors, trucks, you name it. And they work on electronic devices too. So this card's moving a little bit, but I'm trying to be steady. But It's tough getting this old. That's all we have for you tonight. He sponsors What's on Your Mind. And we're gonna go Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see
How about that throw?
Oh, I should have did my basket catches like I used to do in my baseball days.
How did?
Wow.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me who was pitching that day? Because you
I
said you
usually
were a
pitch.
pitcher.
I usually pitch, but
Well, you just said you were doing basket
Yeah,
catches.
sometimes
I have a question.
my day park.
When a ball was hit back straight at you, how did you do a basket catch? Could you just show that to me and our fans? Because they need to know. Because I played baseball my whole life, and I never saw that. I saw pitchers get hit.
Well, you ain't the same complexion as Willie Mays like me.
Yeah, there it is. This race card of the episode is sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
There it is.
Oh, that's a nice. I'm gonna keep that one. Man. My man Corner always GQ. Look, he got the Nike gear. He got the Nike shoes, man. I tell you what, he dressed like a brother. But hey, I'm glad after being on the job for 2 weeks that Nick had a vacation already. Congratulations,
Oh, it was not a
Nick.
vacation.
We missed
Oh,
you last week,
it
man.
wasn't a
I like
vacation.
your tan.
I'm darker than him. I haven't got a tan for a year. My tans used to be dark. He's too light.
I'm definitely going to go to Millvale to get my green tea and to get Hardee's.
Tupelo honey teas.
The only problem is I've never seen anybody black in Millvale. Have you?
Yes.
Wow. Not too many.
Smoking Jim, I got to take you back because something's wrong with your memory. We have some
I
friends.
seen somebody black there.
Yeah, one of them
You getting
was.
Sharpsburg mixed up with Millvale.
No, Millvale also. We've been in Millvale.
Oh, I missed being here.
weren't we at the VFW there?
And I was the only black.
Smoking Jim. You know a
You know what the
guy.
good thing was is that nobody else noticed.
Yeah, thank you. Chip for keeping it real.
Here, I'll make it. Here's how real I'll make it.
I ain't getting out the card, Hardee's.
There was another gentleman named Coach Rock, and he was doing filming of the event.
That's right.
And there were many black fighters
They had him in
who
the back.
Smoking Jim.
They had him in the
No, they
back.
had him to the side, and Smoking Jim was hugging all the black brothers, giving them all this brother talk. He hugged about 8 of them. So I don't know where he missed it, but he just needs his memory revived a little because he likes to entertain you.
Wasn't there a sign when we came in and said all black people out of Millvale by 10?
No. How about they said to me, they go, your black co-host, where is he? And I go, what do you mean? We start in 5 minutes. They go, you've been here for an hour.
That's true. I wasn't going late.
And he was walking up the street because I looked out the window because I asked where he was, and he goes, I'm almost there.
And they had a parking space for us, and I was so late they gave my parking space away.
No,
But hey,
they thought you weren't coming.
Hey,
I end my case. Thank
maybe
you.
after the show we can talk, or you can call me on the phone, because I really would like to get a COVID shot, but I don't want to be a guinea pig. And congratulations on you getting it done.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't look sick. I know Hank Aaron got it done and he died.
That's not the reason he died. And you finally realize this is the first time. What's today's date?
March the 4th. It's on the card.
2021. No, I know. This is the first time that he acknowledged people died from COVID that he knew. Knew.
From the shot, yeah.
COVID that he knew.
Yeah, from the shot.
Now that shows you how ignorant he is.
I'm trying to learn.
And I hate to mention to all of you that graduated from great schools like Gateway, that somewhere he missed out. And then I hear a lot of good things about Cal U. And again, he told me he didn't really go to school.
No.
and he sold books all the time.
Yeah, I
His
made
books.
Money. I made money.
So, I mean, these are the true stories that I know more about Smoking Jim than anybody, but I don't want to know this.
But
We digress. What's
I
happening?
did my rehab today. Told them I was going to start. Turn over a new leaf, starting by a new
Hold it,
guy.
wait. Here's the quote Smoking Jim said when he was fined for 24 times. He goes, I'm going to sit to get fit.
I do that.
And look at him. He crawled across the floor today like he does each week. We'll take a video of him on the way out.
But look what I
Watch
did.
yourself, Connor, when he comes by.
But here's what I did, and you'll get proud of me.
Okay.
I went to Pasta 2,
Yeah.
got 2 prime rib dinners,
2.
got salad, and ziti or whatever it is.
Did you get it for your sweetie in New Ken?
That's business meeting in New Kent. Then I
With a
drive-
sweetie.
Then I drive to Kentucky Fried, got my bucket,
Yeah.
which is my protein.
Right.
Then I went to Bethel Park Bakery.
Yeah.
Got me a dozen donuts, brother, for my carb. But hey, what's on my mind real quick?
Yeah.
I feel bad.
We lost 15 minutes.
Ben Roethlisberger, if he's not the greatest quarterback in NFL history, he's clearly the greatest quarterback in Steeler history. Pittsburgh Steelers again stabbing the great ones in the back like they did Troy Polamalu and they did,
Which one?
Antonio Brown and they did James Harrison. Listen,
James
they
Harrison all
make
for
Ben
himself.
take a 25% pay cut. They should have gave him a 100% raise. He had a great season, a Pro Bowl type season, and I feel bad because with the schedule next year, Ben is probably may even get benched next year. They're going to, blame everything on him. He wants to play. His desires to play. He should have got a 5-year contract extension instead of having to take a $5 million pay cut. And that's what's on my mind.
But wait a minute.
Disclaimers everywhere.
So, next week is going to be an interesting week in the NFL league-wide because there's going to be a lot of high-profile players that are cut from their teams because, in case you didn't know, there was a worldwide pandemic last year. And the NFL's revenues were significantly
Cut.
So you
Subsequently, the salary cap was significantly lowered this year, so every team has less money. So, putting 25% of your salary cap money or 30% of your salary cap on one player is a fool's errand. So,
You better explain what that means to him.
Ben taking less money is going to enable the Steelers to keep more of the free agents that would have been leaving and might make the Steelers a more competitive team next year. That's what the facts are.
I got to agree with you. The Steelers backstab Ben. I agree with you.
He didn't say that.
And who's the safety you were talking about?
Troy Polamalu.
You said Troy
Yeah,
Polamalu.
Whatever his name is.
Malu. It's Malu.
The Samoan.
It's Malu. It's Malu. And he knows him. He just said he's too religious. And he got too many concussions, but that's another story. Thank you, Smoking Jim. That was one of the longest openings by Smoking Jim before we heard What's on Your Mind. Chip, sorry for the delay. I take full blame for this one.
If one thing is fully consistent, Smoking Jim will always criticize the most successful professional sports franchise in the city. But I digress.
Yeah. Yes.
What's on my mind?
Yes.
Spring is here.
Just
The
the
birds
bond.
are chirping. The
They
sun
are.
is shining. The snow is melting, except for the cold temperatures. But the Pirates are playing baseball in southern Florida. I think it's a beautiful thing. The Pittsburgh Pirates, as we stand today, record is 2-1 in spring training games. They beat the Atlanta Braves today, and not that the spring training games mean anything, but there are going to be a lot of interesting things to watch on the Pirates this year. The Pirates have a legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate in Brian Hayes. We're looking for a bounce-back year from Brian Reynolds.
Yep.
And maybe in his, I believe this is either his 8th or possibly 9th season as a Major League Baseball player, Gregory Polanco may realize his potential. But then again, maybe not.
I go for the latter.
This will be his 7th year.
Thank
No,
you.
this is his 8th.
You're welcome.
This is his 8th.
8.
Oh, yes.
This is his 8th. But
Just the facts.
Right.
you know, that all being said, a
Except
lot
for
of young
smoking.
players competing for positions on the team. I think the Pirates are going to be an exciting baseball team to watch. I've heard predictions of the Pirates being 57 and 105 in the low 60s for wins. And this is truly what I believe. I don't believe the Pirates are going to be as bad as everybody thinks they're going to be.
Wow.
And I do predict, and this is not really going out on much of a limb,
Okay.
but I do not believe the Pirates will hit the 100-loss plateau.
You heard it
this
here
year.
first.
Okay. But I'm looking forward to the season. It's been announced that fans will be allowed back at PNC Park. And
Yay for Smoking Jim and his
at
promotions.
25% capacity, which I will be honest with you, in the environment we live in today, I don't have a problem with fewer people there. I do feel comfortable enough that, you know, if they enforce mask protocols and social distancing, I'm going to be able to get onto the ballpark and enjoy some baseball
Well, the
games this
Penguins
year.
just did it, so
And I really am truly looking forward to spending an evening in one of my favorite places in the city, PNC Park. One of the most beautiful baseball stadiums I've ever I've ever been in, and you know, I'm a season ticket holder, and I'm very much looking forward to watching Pirates baseball. Been following every game so far, and you know, and I'm starting to get excited for the season. But you want to know what's on my mind?
Yeah.
Baseball's on my mind.
Well, one, I like Cleveland Stadium a little bit better, but
There's only one problem with it.
well, the Indians are good.
No, it's in Cleveland.
Okay. But what the Pirates are playing right now, is that called the Grapefruit League?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Do you know why it's called the Grapefruit League?
Because the Pirates have got a winning record.
No. There's two spring training leagues. There's the Cactus League
I didn't
and
know
the,
that.
and the Grapefruit
Guess
League.
where they're
I've heard of the
located.
Cactus
Guess
League.
where they're located.
Where?
Cactus League is in Arizona.
Okay.
Get it? Desert, cactus.
No, he
Arizona.
don't get
I
it.
get that.
He don't get it.
Florida,
Geography he didn't major in.
grapefruits.
I never knew
Okay,
that.
because the spring trainings and games are played in
They
Florida.
got oranges.
So half the major leagues play in the Cactus League and half play in the Grapefruit
They
League.
got oranges. Sun kiss.
Wow. Have you ever been to Florida?
All the time.
Did you ever see the orange trees and
I
grapefruits?
see the orange brothers be picking them. They get paid by the barrel, bro.
Race card, hold that up.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Thank you, Chip.
Never seen no grapefruits.
I used to eat them fresh when I stayed down there.
Florida?
Yeah. Pick them in the morning, cut it. They were sweet as could be.
Tastes just like grapes.
They were sweet. All right, let's go to our vacationing, coming back co-host, Nick. According to Smoking
It was
Jim,
not a
he
vacation.
had a vacation. I guess you better clarify that while you're doing your what's on your mind.
My sports information director at Waynesburg University needed a basketball announcer because they rescheduled a game because coronavirus complications. So I was the guy. So I was like, yeah, I should probably show up because, you know, then they'll let a sophomore do it who's not too familiar with the stuff. So they wanted an experienced senior just being able to run the microphone. So that's where I was.
Oh, no vacation.
No, it was not a vacation. I still go to school 5 days a week and have to do assignments around 7 and work that position.
Let me clarify something. When he said he was going to school, it was like a vacation because he didn't go.
Aha!
That's how he correlates that when you go, I'm at school. He goes,
You know what
I
he
wasn't
did?
at school.
He had a job at the university, Cal University. He had to sit in the bleachers and watch the sprinklers go off in the morning.
Oh!
Pretty much.
Wow.
And his favorite class was basket weaving. So
Underwater basket.
oh,
We have that
at
at
times,
Waynesburg.
at
Yeah.
times.
The underwater basket weaving team. No,
All right, what's really on your
No,
mind?
but I mean, I was going to speak to that too. I mean, I found out by doing all of this work now that sports are back. I almost forgot how much I love sports. I was just like, yeah, this is why I'm doing the job. But I was nervous to sit down and prepare for one of the basketball games that I was announcing, but then I did it and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the right field. Like, I enjoy this stuff. Just hadn't done it in a while because there were no sports in the fall at Waynesburg, so nothing to announce, nothing to prepare for, no content to work with. So it was nice to kind of get back in that rhythm. And now I'm busy as ever getting scheduled for this and that. So got to balance my time here and with this other service learning project I'm doing and with my schoolwork. So there is no vacation whatsoever in my life, Smoking Jim.
Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I had no doubt that you weren't on vacation until Smoking Jim said it.
Yeah, one day we'll see a book.
But
Yes, that you won't read.
But one more point.
Go
I
ahead.
noticed I was talking about your sweetie, Smoking Jim, and I didn't quite understand the concept until I started to pay more attention to your Facebook page, and I'm
thank you,
noticing
sir.
just all the women that he has on his Facebook page, and I'm just like, oh, now I get it. All
Now-
the wrestling women. And
Now I
just
got to
some
put a
women-
disclaimer on it. I got to put a disclaimer on it because a person that I met through the Meadows, a young lady, he stole her copyrighted photo. She complained about it. He didn't take it down and asked how he could do it and posted up what he had posted, and his name is on it, Jim Frazier. I was going to make a comment, but she's friends with Heather Wilder, your good friend, and you stole her picture and you never met her. You must have grabbed her name. What he does is, when I was ahead of him, he was stealing all these friends off of me. Not stealing them, but just, accumulating them. And she was one of them, because there's no way he ever met her and knew that she lived in Ohio. And he posted up her picture, and of course she's beautiful. I won't mention her name here, but he should take that down, whatever you did, because you stole it, you shared it, and you got caught.
That's not actually true, but I'll tell you the story when we got time. I want to take it away from Chip.
It's to me next. Sorry to get you discombobulated. I knew if I put it on him like that on air that we get the truth later on. I can't wait to hear that. I forgot what's on my mind, but I'm watching basketball the other day with my son, and I had fond memories that when I'd watch the NBA, my dad would go, "Did you see that guy walk to the basket? Did you see those elbows and pushing underneath the basket? They were all fouls." And I'm watching the game, I'm seeing the same stuff. I saw a guy take 4 steps from the foul line and put in a shot, and he got fouled and made a 3-point play out of it. And I'm like, my dad, God bless you, he'd be rolling over. Then I hear they got the NBA All-Star game. Chip mentioned it last week. Why are they even having the NBA All-Star game? Smoking Jim, what's the point? There's no fans.
Good point. Good point.
And it'll all just be offense, so we see that all the time until the playoffs. Then the defense comes out and wins the championships. But that's what's on my mind. I did break my habit of not watching NBA, and I did. I'm not even mentioning the teams because it's just a joke, and they cry all the time. The coaches are working the referees all the time, just like in college. If they're not complaining to the referee to get some help, they're not trying. So it's just shocking how basketball stunk the place up like that and is so popular. So it must be something to it. We're going to come back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Don't change that station.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner, my main man. Next year's record-setting kicker, 55-yard field goal for
Who?
Gateway. Corner in the house. I can't wait. My main man, Nick. I tell you what, I hope you got my note last week. I slipped it into your office last week,
did
Nick.
you?
Let me ask you, how much you got to be able to bench press 500 pounds with them arms, bro?
No.
If you put
In
your
high
mind
school,
to
I
it.
maxed out at 250 when I was like 100 pounds lighter.
Well, that's good for
Wow.
Keystone Oaks. That's good for Keystone Oaks.
When
You're asking.
I was 40, I was pushing 350.
I said 250, not 350.
I said when I was
Oh.
40 years old,
can
I
bench
was
press
pushing
350?
350.
Wow.
Yes,
That's amazing, bro.
Nice.
Wow.
20 years ago.
Wow. And without a hair out of place, my main man, Anthony, on the ones and twos, making us look good, Al Levine.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to be real quick.
Okay, good.
You know, I'm already upset, Al Levine, the talking machine, because, we've never in this country had an Italian president. I'm mad about that. The Pittsburgh Steelers won't employ.
How many presidents have we had? Do you even know?
I don't know.
Okay,
46?
thank you.
Is it 46?
Thank you.
I know they called one president 46 or 45 or something like that.
I don't know. I don't follow the politics, but thank you.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers won't hire a coach or have a player that's one of my American Polish brothers. I'm mad about that. Coach Tomlin's been there 14 years. He's opened up his big mouth about the NFL ought to hire more black coordinators. He's never hired a black coordinator, and he's never had a white cornerback in his 14 years. Why don't you keep your mouth shut, Coach Tomlin? You know what I mean? And now Al Levine, the talking machine.
What?
Listen, a guy that I seen play in high school, you seen him play, Al Levine, the talking machine, one of the hardest workers of all time, underrated because he's white, playing basketball.
Hold it up.
Just broke an NBA record last night with 9 steals in one half. T.J. McConnell,
10 in the game.
10 all-time in the game. He leads the NBA with 2 steals a game. Most underrated player because of his color, hard worker, 2 best basketball players I ever seen on the high school level, T.J. McConnell and what's Sean's name? Coach of
Miller.
Arizona. Sean Miller.
Miller.
2 best I ever seen.
My dad knew both of them. My dad was friends with the McConnell family, and he knew TJ when he was born.
Wow.
That's going back.
Wow. They never visit the Hill District when y'all lived there, did they?
They weren't born yet.
But
They-
that's
they
what's
weren't
on my
born.
mind. Congratulations to T.J. McConnell, never giving up. And Sean Miller ended up giving him an opportunity at Arizona. And that was one of the best teams in the country. And he's in the NBA bouncing around. But, hey, I'm just so happy for the young man.
Thank you,
Aren't
Smoking
you?
Jim. Thank you very much, Smoking.
And once again, my dear friend Jim showing his bias against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin in general, and just to speak to how ridiculous his rant was, but just to speak to his point, Mike Tomlin has every right in the world to criticize the hiring practices of the NFL in general. You've got a league that is predominantly 70% African American, and there are 3 African American head coaches out of 32 teams in the NFL. When Mike Tomlin was hired, there were 5, 15 years ago, and there has been no forward progress made. As a matter of fact, the numbers are going backwards. And if you are telling me that Eric Bieniemy, who is the offensive coordinator for the most prolific offense in
I
NFL
wouldn't hire
to
him.
this day, isn't worthy of a head coaching position in the NFL, then you've lost any amount of credibility that you could possibly
He
have.
couldn't lead silent prayer.
Okay. So, last week I said that during the weeks of spring training, we are going to highlight Pittsburgh Pirate greats from the past. And last week, one of the greatest Pirates to ever play, put on a Pirate uniform, we talked all about Honus Wagner.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about 2 other Pittsburgh Pirates. Al happened to guess right out of the 15 guesses he made before the show started.
Uh-oh.
He was right on one.
Whoa.
These 2 brothers made up 2/3 of the Pirates outfield for close to 2 decades. Okay?
I won't steal your thunder. Keep
Baseball
going.
brothers, Paul and Lloyd Wainer. Paul Wainer had to be a very graceful player because he could slide without breaking the bottle of whiskey on his hip. This is a quote according to Casey Stengel. When I walked up there with a half a pint of whiskey fresh in my gut, that ball came in looking like a basketball. But if I hadn't downed my half pint of 100 proof, that ball came in like an aspirin tablet. Paul Wainer, speaking of his, shall we say, unusual approach to hitting. Hall of Famers Paul, Big Poison, and Lloyd, Little Poison Wainer, were the best hitting brothers in baseball history. They got their nicknames from a Brooklyn Dodgers fan's mispronunciation of big person and little person, which was then picked up by a sports writer in the stands. The Hera, Oklahoma Farm Boys combined for 5,611 hits, the major league record for brothers, easily besting the three Alus, who had 5,094.
Wow.
And the three DiMaggios, who had 4,853 hits. They are the only brothers elected to the Hall of Fame, other than the 19th century ball players Harry and George Wright.
Wow.
In 1927, the Wainers had the greatest season two brothers could have ever had, playing side by side in the Pirates outfield. Paul and Lloyd had 460 hits between them, with a combined average of 367.
Wow.
Their efforts got them into the 1927 World Series,
Oh.
but neither played in the Fall Classic ever again. On September 15th, 1938, the brothers hit back-to-back home runs against Cliff Melton of the New York Giants. And you know what that season, the 1927 season of the Pittsburgh Pirates, earned them the right to get swept by one of the greatest baseball teams of all time,
Yeah.
the 1927 Murderers Row New York Yankees of Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. The Wainers were fixtures in the Pirates outfield from 1927 to 1940. Paul and Wright and the speedy Lloyd in center. Paul compiled 3,152 hits over his 20-year career, with a lifetime batting average of 333.
Wow.
Hitting over 300 14 times. A four-time All-Star, he won 3 batting titles.
Wow.
And was a National League RBI leader and MVP in 1927. He set Major League record for consecutive games with an extra base hit with 14, and it has been tied once since by Chipper Jones.
Whoa, what a record.
An excellent defensive center fielder, Lloyd's career average was .313 over 19 seasons with 2,459 hits, while topping 310 times. He led the league in putouts 4 times, using his excellent speed to cover the spacious Forbes Field outfield. Although the brothers were very close, they were opposites in many ways. Lloyd was a teetotaler. According to the photographer George Brace, who knew him well, and there's a note, this is disputed on his Wikipedia page. And Paul, let's just say, he liked to have a good time. Paul once said that in order to be a good hitter, you had to be relaxed at the plate. To Paul, being relaxed meant having a shot or two of whiskey before each at-bat. When Paul Wainer gave up drinking in 1938, at management's request, he only hit .280, the first of only 2 times that he failed to hit .300 as a Pirate.
Wow.
Paul Wainer was elected into Baseball's Hall of Fame in 1952. His brother Lloyd followed with his election in 1967. In 1999, Paul Wainer was ranked number 62 on the Sporting News list of the 100 greatest baseball players, and was later a finalist for the Major League All-Century team. His number 11 was retired by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2007.
Wow.
So,
Took that long.
well,
Yeah.
you know, it happened.
He
But
was
2
right.
of the greatest Pirates in a storied franchise.
And that's not right.
That
Sorry.
that's 100 and close to 135 years old.
Right.
And, next week, probably the second greatest shortstop to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And
Whoa.
we'll find out who that is next week.
One thing I love about baseball is you can fail 7 out of 10 times and go to the Hall of Fame, get your number retired. I love baseball.
Isn't that true?
I'm glad I taught you that years ago, Smoking Jim, because somehow he goes to the negative.
They say the hardest thing in sports is to hit a baseball, but I see people doing it all the time.
Nick already has a challenge that we take the camera outside in the summer and he throws one pitch to you, and when you miss it, it's over.
Well, one
Well, it's
last
Maggie State
thing
one.
before we go.
Yeah.
In the history of baseball, the team that has had the most batting champions in the history of baseball. Number 1 is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 2 was the Detroit Tigers.
Wow.
And these were both a result of 2 players specifically,
Ty Cobb.
Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb.
See, I was helping you out.
And,
there.
and one of the Wainers brothers won 3 batting titles for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. Not too shabby for a guy like Smoking Jim that never hit a ball and threw a ball.
I didn't know
But
about them.
we're going to come back.
Good stuff.
We can just go to Nick, since I don't think we have a segment for him yet.
No.
I don't know what we're going to call it.
Neither do I.
Then you just wing it.
Thank you.
We'll let you go a couple minutes and wing it out there.
I'm going to empathize with umpires
1927?
Okay.
for now. Because I read an article. It was like an opinion piece.
Hold a
About-
disclaimer. Haven't you been an umpire?
I have.
So you have
I
a
am an
personal.
umpire, so I have
Yeah.
a bias.
That's what I'm
There
bringing
is a
out.
bias
yes.
here, yes.
Just
So
wanted to
I'm
bring
saying-
that out
Yes.
in the air of honesty, excluding Smoking Jim.
Right. But
Okay.
I read this opinion piece on Angel Hernandez. I'm sure Chip knows who that is. You know, he's notoriously not great at his job. But I saw this article on Facebook that said Angel Hernandez misses a bunch of calls. He needs to be fired. I opened the article because I'm like, okay, clickbait. This is interesting. Let's just see why another person thinks this.
Yeah.
In this article, it's just a bunch of ranting about why he's so bad, and it goes over the history of his career with bad calls, but they only cited one example from the game that he was umpiring that day where he missed a call. And it got a lot of attention because the announcer said, ooh, Angel Hernandez is in midseason form, because it was a spring training game, right? So kind of clever because he's...
I
again,
appreciate sarcasm.
Which
So
I do
That
too.
was perfect.
Okay,
But
do you,
like-
do you know what the significance of the blown call in that game was?
What's that?
Okay, so obviously you
I-
didn't read the article. But Angel Hernandez blew a call that stole a no-hitter
Yeah.
away from Galarraga, who was pitching for...
Yeah, that's the seriousness of
yes,
that.
yeah, the pitcher, he made a call at first base and he called the runner
That wasn't
safe.
Hernandez?
Yes, it was.
No, it was Jim Joyce.
No, it was not. Check.
Uh-oh.
Check
your
me on
I
facts.
think it was Jim Joyce.
Smoking
It
Jim,
was
you
not,
don't even
no,
know
it
what
was
happened.
Jim Joyce. I know that for a fact.
Okay, we're
But
going to
while-
find out.
Uh-oh, here we go. We'll
Well,
carry on with what you're
Right.
saying.
But yeah, so I saw the article where, but they cited one call, and it just makes me so upset that so many people out there are so quick to judge umpires. And you know, you have the electronic strike zone on TV screens now, so everybody can kind of look and at least like see a simple version of what the strike zone is. But like, it's not. No, I don't agree with those, Smoking Jim, because it's such the strike zone is such an abstract concept and. Smoking Jim, who's more of a fan of football and hasn't really played baseball
explain
before.
to Smoking Jim
right?
how the zone can be different for each batter because of their sizes.
Right. Well, the rule is, Smoking Jim, that it's not where the batter starts his stance. It's where what position a batter's in when he's ready to strike at the pitch. So that can change from pitch to pitch. That's why it's abstract. So you can't just create a concrete.
Let me interrupt you so
Okay.
he'll understand this.
Okay.
Pete Rose is hero because he's a degenerate gambler. He admires a degenerate gambler that would bet on anything, even ants. And Pete Rose would stand up, then he'd crouch down and have a strike zone about 6 inches. So Smoking Jim can relate to
You were
that.
right, it was Jim Joyce. I stand corrected.
Hurrah!
I mean,
Whoa.
I was right.
You okay?
You just jumped on the bandwagon. Thank you, Nick.
Jim
But-
Joyce was
so,
the first base umpire, and he did blow the call.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean that was pretty notorious. But he apologized after that too, which
Doesn't
is why,
matter right, because
I know he
it
blew
wasn't
it.
just
I know.
it wasn't just a no hitter.
And no
It
hitters.
It was
would've
a
been
perfect game.
Yeah.
I do understand.
And there haven't been many of those.
But I'm
Carry on.
But yeah, but the underlying point is that you have these opinion pieces that get clickbait because something happened in a game or an umpire missed a call, and I hate that with a sport that's so abstract as baseball that there are so many critics now who crave instant gratification from sports that they can just easily criticize umpires and get angry over human error like they do even with replay. There's still the strike zone is still an abstract concept that I don't think many people can understand. So it's no wonder that minor league umpires are kind of dissipating.
Best-
like people don't want
best
to be
ever.
in the officiating profession anymore, and you're seeing that job kind of disband from like the younger folk because nobody wants to get involved with angry coaches and angry fans who don't understand the sport. And it just makes me upset because I'm an umpire and I really enjoy my job, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from coaches that I've officiated games for, and it's just sad. Stop criticizing baseball umpires. Trust that they know what they're doing, understand human error, and enough with the instant gratification in sports. Just enjoy the nature of the game.
Great point, Nick. I got a couple things to add to it. I come from a referee's family, and my dad was one of the most honest referees. Coaches that Smokin' Jim had would ask my dad to be a homer. My dad would say, "This is the last game I'm doing for you." And they go, "You'll never get another job." My dad refereed for almost 30 years, and he had a reputation for knowing the rules and calling them how he saw it. He didn't care if it was the home team or away team. And he got jobs and things over the years at many different places. And what I say as a counterpoint, all these people that are critical, let them be an umpire or referee for one game. And I've said this for years, let them do it. I umpired Little League, after I was out of Little League, I was in Babe Ruth League, and they said, "Would you umpire?" So I did it. It was tough, but I did it, and I got compliments. They go, "Hey, kid, you called a straight game. We appreciate that." And it can be done. But I say all the people like Smokin' Jim and others who have great opinions, I don't understand it, but let them do it for one game. That's my challenge to all you critics out there.
Well, it's like in my teenage years, coaches tried to mess with me.
Yeah.
And they try to tell me, "Ooh, hey, they're doing something that's in the rules," and I'm like, "No, it's not." And then they would be all confused, like, "Oh yeah, it's not the rules." So it's just stuff like that. So it's stuff like that. They're mind games that go on too. It's just
you're sitting on a panel with a guy that believes if you're not cheating in sports, you ain't trying.
The pathological manipulator, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
I definitely agree with y'all. Baseball's the
Which
most
one?
simplest-
Which
baseball's the
one?
most-
Which point?
Baseball's the most simplest game in the world.
Is it?
Man.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
you and I gotta have a sit down
Wait a
sometime.
minute.
Oh, wow.
Easy to know them rules.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
You were a columnist for a newspaper, and you used the words "most simplest" in a sentence.
Yes. I end this
That's it.
segment.
I'm good.
Let
I'm
me
done.
go on
I
location.
got my editor here.
Stop it right there. I'm going on location. So, Anthony, cue it up. On location. Forget about what Smokin' Jim was saying or even talking about. He didn't know baseball until 9+ years ago when he joined Pittsburgh Sportsline. He didn't even know what the seams of the baseball were. So he's watched it since, and acts like he knows a couple things. On location, he does know boxing. We're going to do boxing at the USS Fight Academy on North Lincoln Highway in North Versailles, Saturday the 13th at 6 p.m. So come on out. Tickets are $20. Limited people will be allowed in. Maybe Smokin' Jim won't get in. He was asked, but we'll have to see. Aaron Donald will be there, so we'll have a good time there with him, and many others in the sports world will be there. It'll be great amateur fights that night. The whole Cunningham family, I think, will be fighting, so we'll see that. And it's always great to see USS Cunningham. He's a great fighter, and I don't know if he's quit fighting yet, even at his age. He got to be in his 40s somewhere, or late 40s, so who knows? I don't know how he compares with Smokin' Jim in his age, but come on out, USS Fight Academy, March 13th. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer, and we'll have a great night of boxing. We're going to come back with a short edition of Penguin Talk.
Well, we're back.
Yeah, Penguin
Talk.
Talk.
Penguin Talk. Penguins in the Flyers tonight, and scores 3-1 at the end of the first period. And I will say this, and I'll go on record as saying it right now. I've said it before. I do not believe that this Penguins team is going to make the playoffs this year. And here's the other thing that I do believe, that Mike Johnson is coaching for his coaching life.
Wow.
I do not expect him to be the coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins next year.
Wow.
hot take.
Wow.
And simply because, you've got a new general manager, a new director of hockey operations,
Yeah.
and they didn't hire him. And, if you looked at the way the game was played on Sunday, the Penguins' special teams, their penalty kill is the worst in the league, and their power play, supposedly one of the most talented units in hockey, gets fewer shots on goal than any team in the league, and all they do is pass the puck. So all they did was pass and pass and pass and not shoot the puck and not score on the power play. So they fired the coaches of the special teams.
Right.
They brought in new coaches. And now what is they doing? They're passing and passing and passing, and the special team play is worse than it was last year. So obviously it's not the coaching. And, so you're not going to fire the players because you've got so much money tied up in the salary cap with the players that are on the power
Right.
play. And if they're not going to shoot the puck, and they're not going to do what the coach is telling them to do, what is the next
New coach.
log to fill? And to be honest with you, what I would do is I'd bench them all, call up a bunch of kids from Wilkes-Barre, and tell them just go out there and fire pucks at the net until you can't lift your stick anymore. And I mean, the only way you're going to
No, that's
score
a good
goals
point.
on the power plays is to throw the puck. Now, the Penguins played a really nice game against the Flyers the other night.
Yes, they did.
And they're playing a good game tonight. Game's not over. One period in. But, the Penguins have been playing good hockey lately, but they're still not making up any ground on the teams in front of them.
Right.
And they're fluctuating between 4th and 5th place, right on the edge of not being
the
eligible
cusp,
for
yeah.
the playoffs. So,
And then when is Malkin going to play?
well, I
'Cause
see
he's been
he's
missing.
showing flashes, but, he had a good game the other night when Crosby was out. And there were some interesting statistics I heard that Malkin actually performs better
Yeah.
and the Penguins win more games when Crosby's out and
I've seen
Malkin's
that.
playing without him
Right.
than the Penguins win when he and Crosby play together. So, that leads me to believe, why did Jim Rutherford get fired?
Yeah.
Who was he trying to trade that the people upstairs wouldn't let him? Was it Evgeny Malkin? Was it Chris Letang? We may never know.
I'll bet on Malkin.
It could be either or both.
Yeah, it could be. Definitely. But we'll have to see. It's disappointing. I watch the games regularly, and I'm a Penguin fan, and I'm constantly saying, shoot the puck.
This
And I
has
don't
been,
see it.
and how, the message is pretty clear. I mean, the coach says it. Anybody that's ever played the game of hockey knows to score goals, the puck has got to be shot on net.
Hold it. Disclaimer. Ask Smoking Jim. How do you score a goal?
I watched the game. Was it Saturday? Whatever the overtime win was, I watched that.
Did you?
Yeah, I caught the last.
What'd you
win.
Well,
think
which
of
overtime win? Because
Yeah.
they
had a couple.
they've only won a couple of games in regulation
I'm
this
gonna
year.
say Saturday because I was at the casino. I think it was Saturday. Saturday.
Another loser. Another loser. He lost all his money. He had to watch Penguins. I know how bad it was. His teams were getting beat. Little inside scoop. Don't bet. No, that's how it goes. It's frustrating, with some of the play that we see. And like a coach has a life expectancy in NHL of
4
about
to 5 years.
Yeah, 4.3 years is what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So they signed him after he had 4 years. So I knew he was in rarefied air in the NHL because they get rid of him, Smoking Jim.
Well,
Not like in the NFL, they recycle him.
And nobody predicted Rutherford to be gone. And I also heard reports from last week that Rutherford says that he's ready to go back to work.
Yeah, he did say that.
He's looking to get hired by another team. So
And I think he's
I
only
really-
71. So
That's young.
what
Yeah.
caused him to pick up his toys and go home and quit on the team?
Sure.
Good point, Jim. Good point.
Smoking Jim never thought about that. If you don't finish the season, you quit, right? Makes sense. There's too many truths here
It is
tonight.
what it is.
No, I hope you enjoyed the show. We only got a little distracted for some of it, maybe mostly at the beginning and then in the middle. But we tried to come back, and Smoking Jim got his famous card thanks to Nick. Nick gets an assist for the race card. Not that he believes in the race card, but Smoking Jim practices it almost religiously every week. So he's earned it. He's done it the old-fashioned way. He's worked hard to get that. And he's the nicest guy you ever meet. And you just can't believe him, but it's true. I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words, but
Never.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for watching the show. Stay Joey strong.